Alright folks, sorry for the delay, we had a few technical issues there. We've hopefully ironed out for the remainder of the stream. You are tuned into the PlayStation Pacific Open Series Tier 1 Championship and Round 5 from France. Great to be with you wherever you're tuned in from or joining us from. And joining me in the commentary box today is young Tom. I actually don't know how old or young he is, but Tom, welcome.
Cheers, Mike. No, it's good to be here. Good commentating on the Sunday Pacific Open Series. Sorry, this is just the Sunday Open Series. But no, this is good. Plenty of good drivers in this series, in this lineup. It's very competitive from the last few weeks that I've either raced in or watched from the sidelines. So I'm sure today will be very exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. Not everyone's mostest favouriteest track on the calendar, but does have a knack of throwing up some good races from time to time, regardless of how little or a lot the drivers like it. So hopefully we'll get a bit of that. Pretty close at the top of the standings after only 4 rounds gone so far. Wee 921 in the Ferrari, currently 5th there on the standings. He leads the way by 10 points over Scotty, who sits down there in 19th, yet to post a lap.
Yeah, that's it. Will's been incredibly quick over the last few weeks, and he's picked up a third, first, second, and a first, so he hasn't been anywhere but the podium for the first 4 rounds. Scotty also pretty quick. He's just had that one miss off the podium in China in 6th place. But I think there's a few other drivers to watch out here for. Grim Reaper, Karma, Buster, even Delicious, who's racked up 3 fastest laps out of the 4 races. So could be very exciting.
Yeah, where he's sort of missed the bullseye with some, I guess you'd say, poor results. I'm sure he'd expect much better. He certainly hasn't missed in the fastest lap department, 3 from the 4 races so far.
Yeah, that's it. And, I mean, heading to the Constructors, Ferrari very strong at the top with Will and Grim Reaper. Delicious will have to, maybe get those more consistent results to help out Scotty up the top there of the Constructors. So, I'm sure today's race will be pretty interesting to watch on the sideline anyway. I think from what I've seen so far heading into this race preparation, Will's looking pretty quick in time trial times. Scotty is as well though, so if the last week's race was anything to go by, I'm sure today will be great.
Yeah, we've had some cracker finishes. A lot of them been calling this one, and I just did what might be my last race for the Tuesday night Pacific Tier 2 series, but we've been getting a lot of safety cars with about 5-6 laps to go, giving us only 2 and 3 racing laps right at the end. So we've had some hectic finishes, and if the last few rounds are anything to go by, we could be in for more of the same. But yeah, plenty of guys who will be looking to post some good results after a few disappointing results recently. There's a few that have been quite consistent, which is the key with the Race Spec point scoring system, varying a little from that of the actual point scoring system used by the Formula 1 fraternity. So it does pay to just, at least if you're not in it for a win or a podium, just do best you can and try and get as many points in the bag as possible.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the Race Spec series is a lot about just being consistent and, at the end of the day, just crossing the line with points going all the way down to 15th place. That is, if the driver does finish the race. It's quite, it can be the difference between a couple of places in the championship later on in the season. I just saw there, Bredman Meekin goes 5th. Sorry, I was watching his lap, I don't know when you were watching, but
we're just on with Benny, but yeah, the Haas driver's shot his way up to 5th there, just behind his teammate Drow, and they're about half a second off the Grim Reaper, who currently holds the provisional top spot on the timing sheets.
Oh! Who was that? Someone's just got to Benny's way at turn 1. It was an AlphaTauri driver. It looks like it was Delicious.
It was Delicious, yeah. He's just getting past now by one of the Red Bulls as well. Did he get out of what? Is he looking at a potential penalty there, or did he get out?
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a block to me. I think it will all be down to if Benny was impeded. He seems to have slowed down here on his hot lap, so might have been indeed. and that might be one for the stewards after the race.
Meanwhile, W92 goes up to top spot with a 129 and a quarter. Maybe you can help confirm something for me there, because I heard you refer to him as Will, and I've always just gone with the first sort of 4 characters in his name there and gone W92 or 921 sometimes. And I've had a few chats to him, and he's been too polite to correct me on it, but it's Will, is it? Should we rock and roll with Will?
Yeah, it is Will. That is his name. Yeah, I know him quite well. He's a good fella. Very, very fast driver. So, yeah, I definitely can't keep up with myself. That's for sure. But yeah, it is Will. So I know the name is a bit confusing. I mean, initially when I first met him, I was like, what's this bloke's name? But he's Will. So
yeah, I do struggle to keep up with some of the screen names sometimes. I've done commentary in the past on rugby league games where you're given a name and that's their name, and then you come to the F1 esports world and there's just numbers, letters, underscores, hashtags, the lot. I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm seeing. I've got many a name wrong in these ones. But yeah, as you alluded to, Will, very quick in that Ferrari. I had the pleasure of calling him in the Season 5 championship, and if you ever got hold of his results from that season, they only got better as the year went on, and he's just carried that the form from the second half of last season straight into this one, and as we said, 2 wins, a second and a third, hasn't been off the podium yet, really has come to grips with his steering wheel setup.
Yeah, that's it. And I've known Will for quite a long time. I think since about the start of Season 3 in Race Spec, and see his progression over that period of time has been incredible. I mean, we're talking a driver who was kind of tier 3 or 4, quite off the pace, and then now going to, well, competing in the top tier of the Race Spec series. So there it is. I mean, practice makes perfect. You know what they say.
Yeah, it's an old adage, but a good one. Practice does make perfect. The more you put in, the more you get out, and he's been, I won't say walking proof, but rolling proof of that. And if there was an award for most improved in last season, he definitely would have taken that out, hands down. And we're just watching his teammate on screen at the moment, Grim Reaper, going for a fast lap. So it's a provisional lockout of the front row to Ferrari at the moment, as Grim Reaper makes his way into Sector 2 of the course, looking to nick that top spot off his teammate as he makes his way down to the chicane there at turns 8 and 9. Flings the Ferrari through just nicely, riding the curbs to perfection, and gets the car tucked all the way over to the left-hand side of the track for the fast right-hander at 10, and then lines up turn 11, where we will see a myriad of different lines taken on the opening lap. There'll be cars scattered everywhere through turn 11. Looking forward to that. Not long to go now too. We're just under 5 minutes to go in the session, assuming that clock on our screen is correct. It has been wrong a few times this year, but and he's coming into the pits, Grim Reaper, so it was never really a hot to trot lap.
Yeah, I think he might have lost a little bit of time there on the straight through that chicane. It seems pretty easy, but it's not. It's a bit deceptive. You've got to really send it in over that left side curve and then jump on the brakes for the right-hander. And you can lose or gain a lot of time there, I found. So
yeah, it can really tilt either way through there. You can lose a lot or gain a lot. There's a few corners where there's not a lot to gain and plenty to lose, but that's one where it can go either way.
That's it. I mean, this is still looking good for Ferrari here. 1-2 at the moment on the time sheets. I think my time's a bit wrong. I'm sitting at about 6.5 minutes, but I think we've got a bit less than that.
Yeah,
which is fine.
We're seeing about 2.5 on ours, but it hasn't. The qualifying clock has just never been right. I don't know. Quite often we'll see it'll say about 5 minutes left in the session, and then suddenly the checkered flags start going up all over the place. So I don't even want to guess anymore how long we have left in the sessions, qualifying sessions.
That's right. I mean, I think seeing all these yellow flags in Holly here, it's people just pulling out of the way, but it makes me think that this will be an interesting race in terms of the safety car point of view, because obviously, and I think all of our 4 other races we've seen an SC at some point during the 50% race, but today will be interesting, Mike. I don't know if an SC will be that easy to bring out. Put it that way. The wall's here a bit further away from the track, and it's not that easy to sort of, I guess, lock a wheel and put it in the wall of champions or spin out into a close wall. So we'll see maybe possibly a collision that could bring out the SC. That's all I can think.
Yeah, the guys did. They managed to get through round 1 minus any safety car interference, and then really made up for it in rounds 2, 3 and 4. Hopefully, it'd be nice to see them get through another race without a safety car. They have been the safety cars have interrupted some good flowing races there at times, especially when they've come out in those last few laps. I know it does make for a spectacular final 2 laps when that's all you've got left as the safety car comes in, but it does somewhat impede the natural flow of the race. Here, as I'm seeing checkered flags coming out now. Are you getting those?
Yep. Yeah, I'm getting them. Will's coming across the line now. Oh, that's a quick lap.
That is a stonker from Will. That's almost 8/10 faster than his teammate at the top there. Scotty's in the pits, so he won't be improving any further. Delicious looks like he's on one final crack at the prize, but he's got to make up a second on his previous best if he's to nick the top spot. And about 2/10 if you see a car off in the background there, a Haas.
That's Breadman. Yeah, he's just dropped on the curb there. I was just watching him, left side wheel, just got a bit too high up on the curb and he's just gone around. So unlucky for him. He was slightly up on his lap as well. So,
and Delicious jumps in the pit, so he won't complete his lap. His day is done. Karma comes across the line. He's currently down in 9th, goes to 7th, moves up to the 4th row of the grid. Still 9/10 adrift. That is a hell of a time from Will up the top.
Yeah, oh no, that's stunning pace. I mean, he's got it all to defend now in the race, but 7/10, that's light years in qualifying, especially compared to the last few weeks. It's been pretty close. I have to admit, I probably expected a little bit more there from Delicious and Scotty to challenge him, but obviously this is just one of Will's really strong circuits. So yeah, this should be still an interesting race though.
Absolutely, and we'll say a hello to our resident commenter there in the live stream, Gavin Arnold. Thanks for joining us. Gavin pointing out we could be in for a wet race ahead, so that'll certainly add another element to things, Tom.
Yeah, wow, okay. I haven't got that inside knowledge either yet, but we'll wait and see if it is wet. Yeah, in fact, I have just got a little bit of word here from one of the drivers in the field, and it is going to be raining in the race. I'm not exactly sure how long for or when, but I guess we're going to wait and see, Mike.
He doesn't get it too wrong, old Gav Arnold there in the comments. As we look at the results up on screen, there's the 2 Ferraris on top from the 2 Alpha Tauris, so head-to-head on the front 2 rows of the grid. Basil on tour there in 5th in the Mercedes. Into the race screen, and there is indeed rain falling, quite heavy too, so it's going to be a wet start to the French Grand Prix.
This is very interesting. I've just got a little bit more inside knowledge from the grid that the rain is predicted to stop around the 30-minute mark, so I don't believe we will see rain for the whole race, but it might get pretty close. We might see like a 5-lap period at the end where it will dry out.
This could be interesting. The drivers will most likely be aware of this as well and planning out their strategies, getting ready to make the quick decisions when needed, the quick tyre changes. There'll be strategies aplenty playing out throughout the duration of the French Grand Prix. I'm going to I'm going to leave you lot with Tom for about 30 seconds while I go and try and sort out a little mic issue. Be back with you shortly.
No worries. Well, I think I'll go back on what I said before about there being very unlikely for a safety car. It's definitely increased now in these intermediate conditions. So they're not going to be on wets, but still probably going to see people going off, spins, incidents. You know how it is in the wet. These guys, pretty good with it, but this back end of the field still might see some trouble. It's unlikely to see rain here usually in the southern part of France. It's a pretty dry area along the coast there, so it's unusual, but who knows? It is a video game after all, and you can get anything. So it'll be interesting to see here if these guys are going to run an intermediate tyre all the way into the dry phase, or maybe switch over onto a second set. They might even be able to go the full length of the race, I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. So we've got two Ferraris leading us from the front, and the AlphaTauris come through, and we've got a various mix of Merc, Red Bull, Aston Martin, Alpine down to about 10th place, and then everyone else locking down the back. Everyone that enters, hopefully Mike's in the back here for the start, because I do not have control. Here he is.
Yes, so, do you read me, Tom? Do you read me?
Yes, I do, and we are ready to go, just in time.
Just had to go grab my umbrella for the start of this one.
Oh, definitely.
And as we are probably all aware now, 27 laps set out for us today here at Circuit Paul Ricard. Just stuck my head outside the commentary box. Definitely raining, bit of wet on top of the bald scalp of mine, and that's certainly going to make this quite an exciting little start. You would think with the layout of that first corner, we may very well likely see someone facing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we could see anything here. These guys would not have practiced this in the wet, I can guarantee. But I'll leave you to take us away for the 5 lights.
We try to get a view down. Oh, I can't get a view looking up the straight. That's disappointing. So we're going to start off with the two Ferraris, just waiting for the lights to come on.
Oh, hopefully we don't have this. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. That's what we want to see. The 5 lights on as we get ready to go. Oh, and it's a jump start from Snickersbud straight off the bat. So he's got a drive-through penalty to look forward to as the two Ferraris take the field down to turn 1. Scotty's already moved up into second.
Oh!
Delicious weaving all over the place. AlphaTauri side by side. I think there's a few connection issues there for one of them. They've all seemed to have gotten through safely at the moment. We92 continues to lead the way from Grim Reaper. Scotty now demoted to 4th after getting a great start up into 2nd, and now he's got Basil on tour to deal with. Going up the inside, takes it. Scotty drops down even further. What a start.
What a start, and there's plenty of action down the back here as well. People going side by side down the straight. This is all over the place. I don't think anyone's gone around or had any problems except the Snickers, who jumped the start.
And Delicious is going to try and take Grim Reaper for 2nd. They're going to go side by side through 8 and 9. That could get a bit curly, but he's pulled it off and takes 2nd place. Can he get a gap happening and head off out after Will? Basil on tour back there, still harassing Scotty with Karma in tow. The 2 Aston Martins going at it for 7th and 8th. The Mercedes of Basil goes very wide through 10, gathers it up, and into 11 they go. It's still Will from Delicious, Grim Reaper, Scotty in 4th, Basil on tour 5th. Starting to just get a little bit away from Karma, who closes right back in as I say that. The Aston Martins harassing each other. Hopefully they don't cause their team too much grief with an early collision. Keep it pretty clean.
Yeah, I'm seeing here Banana Cake Pie slicing his way through the field. He's passed Breadman and now Kekon in the same sector of the lap, so he is flying in the wet.
Bring up the position changes on screen. There they are now. So 4 places up for Banana Cake Pie. 10th Sandals has gone from 17th to 11th on the opening lap. That's a stellar start.
Absolutely. A few of those guys in the bottom there have dropped a couple of places, but still plenty to play for in this race. We're only on lap 2 of 27. Yeah, Banana has plenty of pace here in the wet. Same with 10th Sandals. A fantastic start.
And don't forget our man out in front there. Will already got a gap out to 1.5 seconds as we see yellow flag out in the bottom part, or the early part of Sector 2. I think Breadman Meakin might have had a moment. Doesn't appear to have any damage on the Haas, so, and keeps going in 19th. Snickers Bud looks like he's served that drive-through penalty, so he comes out at the back of the field, 18 seconds off the back of the next car. We92 continues to lead the way. The gap now 1.7 to Delicious. Grim Reaper has a... And we've got another yellow flag down there. Who's that? I think we got a spinner. It's Prezzo's out. Another early departure for the Prezzo. That's disappointing. So he's turned, and we're going to have a virtual safety car, so not the full-blown safety car. All that runoff in the world didn't help Prezzo on this occasion. He's gone, I guess, right through. Actually, we might get Snickers Bud to give us a look. No, the car's been cleared away already as the field maintains their pace under virtual safety car. So, clean start other than that. I'm surprised it took that long to have an incident. Virtual safety car now ends, and it's a drive-through penalty for Aussie Blake speeding under the virtual safety car. That is a shame.
Very unlucky there for Aussie Blake. I was actually watching just behind him, Jeff, and he seemed to hit the brakes at the last second to sort of slow down that delta, but it wasn't enough. These guys in the back definitely struggling in this conditions a bit. Breadman had a half spin about half a lap ago. So, yeah. But anyway, Will still at the front. 1.5 on Delicious. Seems to be very confident.
And that top 5 have opened up a little gap now to Karma, who's still under pressure from 7th placed Codstar in the Aston Martin as the field starts to just back up a little bit behind the 6th place Red Bull. So if there's going to be a move anytime soon, it might be in that mid part of the field as we make our way round to the scene of the prior accident. Prezzo, an unfortunate, another early departure. He'll be pretty disappointed with that one.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just watching back here. 14th and 15th, pretty close. Kick on and Twitch, Lizzie. They were side by side down the straight, but Lizzie just backed out. Just that sensible decision to just kind of, you know, not bend it in the wall like Prezzo did this early in the race.
Yeah, we got those two on screen now. The Alpine stalking the Williams of Kekon there in 14th. My name's Jeff. Oh, what's happened there? There's been a switch of places. Aussie Blake's gone into the pits to serve his penalty as the Red Bull Tours down at the pit lane at what would seem like an excruciatingly slow pace for him. Meanwhile, Drow picks up the first 3-second time penalty of the day. There's going to be plenty more of those to come. He certainly won't be on his own in that regard. Paul Ricard, certainly with all that runoff area, just tempts some of the drivers a bit too much.
Yeah, that's it. This is one of those tracks where, especially in the rain or a long race, it's so easy to just go a little bit outside that white line and pick up a warning or a 3-second. And I'm sure towards the end of the 27 laps, we're going to see a lot more black and white little symbols there next to everyone's names. And those who can keep it clean, well, that's where races are won.
We're right on board with Buster in 8th. He's about to go past his teammate for 7th. Codstar getting a terrible run out of turns 8 and 9. Made it easy for his teammate. So the Aston Martins swap positions cleanly, thankfully to the relief of the team. And Buster heads out. Now can he do something about the 6th place Karma? Still trying to find him. Oh, is he? I thought he got well out of shape there. I thought the Aston Martin was about to go a bit sideways. Maybe I'm just anticipating that too early. Wet conditions, cars everywhere. How long till we see someone have a major moment? Hopefully they can all keep it pointing in the right direction. We certainly don't wish any ill will on any of the drivers. And as I say that, I think Aussie Blake's answered the call and gone off just on the exit of turn 11, I think it is. Yeah, but just before 12. And that will see the arrival of the actual safety car. So the car cleared away. The pack will bunch up. It's good for Snickers, bud. His deficit will get completely wiped out. But unfortunately for Will at the front of the pack, so will his.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that Aussie Blake's just lost it on that curb coming round. Quick right hand and you flick the car in. I can see how he's lost that there in the wet. But anyway, that is our safety car. Commentators curse about there not being one today. So there we go.
Straight up delivered on lap 5. Yeah, maybe Aussie Blake just had it in his mind. He had a lot of work to do after serving that drive-through penalty. And just too soon bit off a bit more than the green wall Pirellis could chew. But as I said, good for Snickers, bud. He'll wipe out that deficit at the back there and join up to the back of the pack. And hopefully very shortly, hopefully we can just get racing again, perhaps. After one more lap, the pack's already pretty bunched. And I don't think... I suppose, how many are going to come in now and try and grab a fresh set of inters, do you think?
Oh, it's definitely a possibility, but I think in the current conditions, probably close to none. We'll see here. Unless someone has a bit of wind damage, that's the only reason I'd be going in on lap 5. Especially because I think, oh no, and Buster's got a drive-through penalty under the safety car.
Another one. We're getting practically a drive-through penalty per lap. That's the third one of the race. Aussie Blake, Snickers Bud, now Buster joins the drive-through party.
Oh, it's a disaster there for Buster. He's been a really consistent driver across the Sunday and Tuesday series. He hasn't quite got any wins, I think, or might have got a podium, but yeah, just very quiet and consistent. And that's a real shame. Well, hopefully you can serve that now under the SC and he'll be able to stay with the pack.
I'm not sure if he's allowed to. I think this came up in our race on Tuesday. We see Snickers Bud in, so he knows he's last anyway. He'll come in and take on fresh inters. Yeah, Buster, he's been consistent. Currently the highest ranked driver in the championship not to score a podium. His best result was 4th last week at Silverstone, and that was preceded by an 8th in Canada, 7th in China, and 6th in Portugal. So he's still only only 50 points off, or 53 off the leader in Will, but still a lot of races to go. And as we alluded to earlier, consistency is the key.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing with Race Spec. You've just got to keep your nose clean and hang on to the last lap. If you can do that and score consistent points each week, you're looking pretty good in the championship. Staying near the top, because again, some of these guys at the top are super quick, but as we said before, a good example is Delicious. Heaps of pace, but results have been very inconsistent across the last 4 races.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, as we alluded to earlier, the only thing consistent with him is his acquisition of fastest laps. 3 so far from the first 4 races. To be honest, I don't even know who got it in the race. He didn't get it. I don't believe there was a record of that one. So maybe they should just give it to him anyway. Give him the full set.
Yeah. No, he's done well in getting those fastest laps, but I'm sure he would have ideally liked to get more points and be sitting a bit further up than 6th position. Yeah, but anyway, hopefully he'll be able to do well today. He's definitely not going to... and he wants to score some good points. Oh, and there's been a retirement. Oh dear,
Jeff.
What's happened here on the straight?
How has Jeff
Redman and Jeff have had a collision.
Oh dear, we're watching on board with Snickers Bud as he shows us Jeff just left stranded on the start-finish straight. Well, this is amazing, a retirement under the safety car. How bad are these guys struggling with the tyres and the conditions at the moment? Jeff's gone. Does Breadman Meakin have damage as a result?
It doesn't appear he does,
No,
but he does have a 5-second penalty for a severe collision. I wonder if he's tapped the rear of Jeff there, or Jeff's just spun on his own. I've got no idea what's happened there.
Interesting development. So I assume, well, we're probably going to get the safety car in this lap. It's going to help him if he even comes in straight away to serve it for it.
Now I'm just getting some inside knowledge here as to what happened there with that incident. It appears from what I'm hearing is that it's been Breadman Meakin's fault. Might have been a collision from behind under the SC. So that's extraordinary. That might be reviewed in the post-race.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely hear more about that in the stewards' room after the race. That's for sure. Another report from our man will be drying up, and we're back on slicks in about 10 minutes. So hopefully that'll throw a cat amongst the pigeons as far as the theatre of the race is concerned, and get a few varying strategies there. That'll be very interesting if the track dries up in the next few laps. As the safety car comes in, We92, or Will, as we're going with, rocking and rolling with, as he rock and rolls down the start-finish straight now, gets the race underway once more, gets a good jump on Delicious as well. He gets an even better jump on Grim Reaper, left languishing in third, and now under pressure from Scotty, who sticks his nose out, thinks about a move into turn one, just decides against it this time, but he's going to line the Ferrari up again as they head down towards the next chicane. Will he get close enough? Not quite. Grim Reaper turns in, still in third position, but still under all sorts of pressure. I think we're having some, sorry if the stream drops out there, we're having some internet connection issues. I think a storm's just hit where I am, but we'll stay with Scotty for now as he closes in on Grim Reaper, getting a bit of a tow down towards turns 8 and 9. He's not going to get close enough this time round, and he needs to keep now one eye behind Basil on tour, stalking the AlphaTauri very close indeed. Got the nose of that Mercedes right up under the gearbox of the AlphaTauri. There's a whole row of cars now from Grim Reaper down to Buster there in 7th, that we know has that penalty and needs to serve soon. The Mercedes of Basil, he goes up the inside, pulls off a great move. Oh, that's good driving from the Mercedes driver. Fantastic overtake. Does it clean.
Yeah, this is an epic battle here for third place. Obviously Delicious Will has kind of got a jump now, but Grim Reaper has got a whole train waiting behind him. Also a bit of a gap between Buster and Tent Sandals as Buster's in to serve that drive-through penalty. Is anyone else into the pits? No, it's just those ones. Just Buster.
So Buster serves his penalty. Grim Reaper stays there in third. Basil up to 4th with that brilliant overtaking move on Scotty in 5th. Karma there in 6th. 10th Sandals moves up to 7th, and we'll see if he can join on to the back of this dueling pack shortly. Add another element to the battle. Grim Reaper's got his mirrors absolutely full of Basil now. Basil is in a mood, and he's right up behind that Ferrari now. How close is he going to get? We've seen that Ferrari struggle on entry to some of the corners, and now Basil, can he pick up the toe? He's going to have to get a lot closer than that. He's going to make the move into 8
using
and
their
9.
ERS here, so that's why he couldn't really get close, but he's still right in behind Grim Reaper.
That is as close as you like as we ride on board with the Mercedes as they make their way up to 10. Now we'll stay with him. We'll stay on board with him, see what kind of a run he gets through here, because this is where he absolutely burgled Scotty on the previous lap. See what line he takes through here. Grip in that Mercedes. Gets a better run too. But the Grim Reaper doing what he needs to hang on.
Basil looks really locked in here, really focused. The car is just sticking to the track. Grimm looks a little bit more loose in the rear end. I mean, he's still got the pace, but Basil is so close. Oh, and he thinks about a move up the inside into the last corner. Bit of a tap from behind.
It goes wide. He goes right off the track, right off screen, comes back in, stage right, and joins the track once more. So he's going to have to do a bit of work now to catch back up. He's also going to have to watch out for Scotty. Lost a good 9/10 in that detour out of the last corner. And getting pretty wild there over the curbs there through the first chicane. He's gathered it up now, put his head down and head out after Grim Reaper once more. But he was gone from harassing Grim Reaper to being harassed by Scotty. Just got it all wrong coming out of that last corner. Maybe a bit of contact with the Ferrari, I think.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a tap in the rear end and he just kind of lost it a little bit, went a bit sideways and went off the side. As now Scotty is in behind Basil. He's not going to be close enough for a move, but he's definitely gotten a lot closer to the Mercedes car. As Karma's also joining that battle.
I'm just looking on screen, those raindrops are fewer than they were before. So, as we heard from Gavin Arnold in pit lane, we might be getting a dry track pretty soon as the raindrops start to dry up a tad.
Yeah, it should be around about that lap 15 to 20, somewhere in there, is when we're predicting the rain to cease. But for now, you're right, the rain is still falling very lightly though. In fact, it's all, you can see the sky on screen is almost clearing up.
And we've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. I think Breadman's gone well off at turn 12. Gathers it up. Oh, and almost chops into Buster, who's trailing around back there. Probably, I'm not sure if he knew the Baston was there, but having served that
He's
drive
actually got
through,
wing damage.
He's the Haas has wing damage.
Yeah, Breadman has some wing damage. In fact, he's actually retired in the pits.
Comes into the pits and ends his day right there. So we go back up front. Someone who's relishing these interchangeable conditions appears to be Delicious. He's closed right up onto Will now and starting to harass the Ferrari. He's going to have a look at a move. The Ferrari moves to defend. It stays comfortably enough in front for now, but Delicious now has found his second win here on lap 11 and is going for the lead.
Yeah, this is a really close battle here for the lead. These guys down here as well, like the battle for fourth back is so intense. They're all so close together in these wet conditions.
And I think, am I seeing that right? Sorry to interrupt you there, Tom. Is Breadman Meakin left the pits and gone back out onto the track? I know he's retired on the list, but there's a white dot that just... Oh, there he goes
there
now.
We go. It's gone. But yeah, it did for a second. I think that can happen, but as long as he retires in the pit lane, it won't impact the session as such. Yeah, so anyway, unlucky there for Breadman. I mean, I think he was struggling in these wet conditions. I think he's also going to be fronted to the stewards post-race. I understand there's been a collision between him and Jeff under the SC on the straight. So that will be interesting to see the outcome of that.
Yeah, he hasn't had the best start to the season so far, Breadman. Unfortunately, best result came last week in Silverstone with a 12th position. He certainly would have been looking to try and crack the top 10 today, but it has not played out that way at all. And one he'll rather forget, no doubt. But as we keep an eye up front, Delicious still trailing Will there in second place. I think the raindrops have all but stopped, so if we're looking at some potential pit stops in the next few laps, Tom, what tyre do you think will be the best choice for these guys?
Good question. I think this is going to be really close. If we see about a lap 17, 15 maximum, I think I'd go into the softs. But if it's anything now in the next 3 or 4 laps, you'd really be pushing it, I'd want to go a safe bet on mediums. I reckon that's going to be the difference, though, Mike, between the top, a winner and a loser in these conditions. If you can pick the right tyre and last on it for that 10 to 14 laps, possibly, then, the soft should be fine. They can last about 12 laps, I believe. But we wait and see.
As we watch Banana Cake Pie down there in the middle of the field, he just lost 10th place to Deputy Dilldog, and then a few final turn. But yeah, as you alluded to, Tom, it could be a tough decision between the medium and the softs, and I have little doubt if that's a decision that's a tough one to make, we're going to see some guys go medium, some guys go soft, and that'll really make it interesting.
No, absolutely. It's still not quite close enough to softs. I'd want to say around lap 17, 16 is where you'd want to go. And I mean, this track is still going to be very green. Definitely not very grippy at all. So I'm really interested to see what tyre everyone moves on to here.
I'm going to be really interested to see how this battle for 12 plays out. There's 3 cars, Benny MC, Deputy Dilldog and Kekon all over the track. Lines of plenty being taken around Paul Ricard as they duke it out, and Twitch. Liddy hangs on there ahead of Benny, and who picks up a 3-second time penalty as he's passed as well. So a bit of salt into the wound. He's going to try and take Twitch Liddy back once more, stay as close as he absolutely can through 10, and then try and nab him into 11. Can't do it there.
Defense here from Liddy.
Yeah, he took a very defensive line through 11. And Benny thinks about it once more. That's a good thing about this track too. I mean, again, as I mentioned earlier on, it doesn't seem to be a favourite of the drivers nor spectators, to be honest. But some of these corners, they can throw up different lines. It allows for some defence, attack, and all sorts going on.
That's it. Now, Delicious has boxed here onto another set of inters.
That is interesting indeed.
I don't exactly know about that decision.
Not what we were expecting.
As well, into turn 1.
So a few changes starting to happen. Does Delicious expect that we're going to see more rainfall perhaps? Made an early call to pit, but not the tyre we were expecting.
No, I don't know if that was the best call from Delicious. I think that it's not raining anymore, that's for sure, so it'll be drying out, and I'd say this track won't be wet for another 14 laps.
And one we'll be able to keep an eye on. Sorry to interrupt you there, Tom, but Buster's just departed on the mediums, so he's going to give us an idea pretty soon as to how that tyre is going to perform in the current conditions.
Yeah, watching on board here, I think he looks fine, and DRS has just been enabled, so I'm starting to think Delicious made a mistake and didn't change the tyres he wanted to be on.
So strap yourselves in if you're working in pit lane. I think you're about to get a train of cars coming your way as the field makes their way through, going through about 13 and 14 at the moment. Will has plenty of a lead and comes in. Race leader in Ferrari 1-2 as it stands.
Karma stays out.
Karma stays out.
Codstar's in. Banana stays out.
Grim stays out as well. A Ferrari hands over the lead to another Ferrari from Karma. Kekon too fast into the pits. That's a 5-second time penalty for him.
Delicious is staying out on this set of inters.
Does he know something we don't?
Is Drow staying out as well? This is going to be insane to see who has gone with the right decision here. As
Delicious just comes out in front of Will. That is very close indeed. How long is that going to last? Who's got the better pace? The intermediate shod Alpha Tauri or the medium shod Ferrari? We're about to find out.
This is interesting as well, Mike. Will's gone for a set of mediums, whereas we've
lost Benny MC. We've lost him.
Oh, there's an SC.
Safety car. Oh, this race changing complexion by the second. It's all happening. Benny MC's turned into turn one, continued to go around to the left, found the wall there, and that's brought out the safety car, and we're down to 15 drivers as it stands. Karma's in front there on the inters, so will these guys come in now?
They'd have to, and this will be big for Karma and Grim Reaper. I mean, they are in a box seat here. The question is, softs or mediums, Mike? That is really boggling my mind. I don't know if they'll get away with softs or if they go with the safe bet of the mediums, make it to the end.
I suppose they've got 12. If they take the softs, they'll have them on for 12 laps, but how many of those will be cruising behind the safety car, which will give them a bit of time to conserve and make those tyres stretch out even longer, I suppose.
That's it. So the top four are all in. Delicious should go in as well, even though he made that early pit stop mistake. Very lucky to be saved here by the safety car.
In he comes now, Delicious. So I wonder what happened. Is it just a matter of not selecting the right tyre on the controller? Oh, hang on a sec. Gavin Arnold is letting us know that Jeff's on the radio calling the drivers that there's going to be rain in 5 minutes. So, I mean, if that happens, if that's what eventuates, you'd be pretty sick if you were Delicious, having come in now and just gotten rid of those inters. I think is Drow
stayed out.
He's taking the gamble.
Oh wow, this is huge from Drow. Like, it could be seen as a ludicrous move that could have him trailing in 15th in a couple of laps, or in the lead by 30 odd seconds in first place. Nowhere in between.
Now, I haven't done too many laps driving on this game. Obviously the inters don't last too long in dry conditions. How long will they last though with some slow laps behind the safety car? Do they burn out as well, or not?
No, they'll last fine. So he's right now, Drow will be wanting to hope that this SC lasts probably till lap 17 or 18. He's going to be struggling on these at full pace because the track looks to be dry, but I'm still seeing some drops, Mike, on people's POV. So this is very interesting conditions. I think it might be a little bit of a dry phase now that might go wet again soon.
And if Drow wants as you said, he'll want the safety car to stay out as long as possible. His Guardian Angel might be Snickers Bud there. If the safety car stays out another lap, he might be able to thank the McLaren driver because he hasn't caught up the pack yet. Sometimes they get going without that last car, but that may be the saving grace there for Drow.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't know exactly when this rain's going to come in, but what Drow could also do is he could just hanging out in these mediums, intermediates, lose a few positions, and then the rain comes again and he will just take off. He won't need to box again.
And the safety car does take us around. Oh, Banana Cake Pie jumps in, so is he going to take on the inters? He's on the softs currently. Does he go another set of... He wouldn't come for another set of softs, would he? Maybe he'll either go one way or the other, I'd assume. Mediums or inters. Does he take the gamble like Drow?
He's going inters. Oh, wow. This is huge from Banana.
And serves a penalty while he's there. So this is very interesting. We've got cars behind the safety car, on softs, on mediums, and 2 drivers on intermediates.
This is a crazy race, Mike. This is some very interesting French weather. I was saying before in the pre-race that you don't usually get a lot of rain down here on the southern French coast, but we have today, and it is coming in waves, it appears.
And one man who's certainly hoping it's going to come in waves is this man on screen, Banana Cake Pie. Drow also up there in 7th. His tyres are 3 laps older. F is on the radio calling for imminent rain. Will his prediction come true? This could be very interesting indeed. I wonder, as the safety car brings the field around past the pits one more time, and hopefully it comes in and we get racing. Will any other drivers jump in and opt for Inters?
Now, I'm seeing some drops here, Mike. I don't know if you're on your screen, but I'm seeing some drops.
Safety car in this lap as well, so that's what we want to see. We're on board with Will at the front, and yeah, we can see a few drops of moisture draining over the halo there on screen, so there's still a bit of moisture out there. But those guys on the Inters need it to get heavier.
I believe it briefly stopped raining, and now it's starting to drop again, so this is unbelievable. That these guys on the Inters will want to hope this picks up really quick, the rain, and these guys on the drives want the opposite. They want it to stay away as long as possible. It's be really interesting here.
Such a hard call to make as we get going once more. Will takes field around the final corner. Yeah, with the drivers must be playing out hundreds of different scenarios in their heads right now, trying to make the call. I mean, if you go one way and get it completely wrong, I don't think you could even blame some of these guys. It's a tough call to make at a very tough time in the race.
It looks like the Inters are extremely slow. Drow's just been passed by 2 people in the first. Oh, make that 4. Make that 4.
Watching Drow trying to keep the Aston of Codstar out, failing to do so. Deputy Dilldog says, I'll have a piece of that. Goes up the inside through 5 and 6, leaving him to deal with his teammate Snickersbud, who jumps straight onto the back of the Haas. Was this too early for the Inters? He needs rain, and he needs it now.
Yeah, he does. So does Banana. He's struggling down in 15th place. Snickers goes straight through, no worries at all on Drow. I think these guys have gone too early.
On Karma going for the lead up the front there. He's just side by side with Will, and Will keeps him out, but he's still going to go have a think about it through 11. Can't get close enough. Oh, he must have got a poor run out of 8 and 9 there, Will, because Karma was right alongside and almost took the lead of the French Grand Prix. He's dropped back to second, has Grim Reaper now in his mirrors. Needs to watch out. Grim Reaper keen to make this a Ferrari 1-2 once more through the final corner. They go. Will goes wide. Will goes very wide. Manages to keep it together with all that extra runoff, really helping the Ferrari. But Grim Reaper right on the back of Karma. He goes up the inside for the lead of the Grand Prix. Can he take it? Not quite. No. Will keeps him out. Resists the Red Bull once more. Grim Reaper in trouble now with Basil on tour having a look. Will he go up the inside? Mercedes goes up the inside, side by side. This is magnificent as they head down to turn 5. The Ferrari, the Mercedes lock wheels, they touch through 6. The Mercedes manages to get ahead. Scotty's there looking for a piece of the action now. Oh, this is fantastic. Cars all over the track. Grim Reaper, Scotty going at it. Can you believe this is
here goes Grim, here goes Grim.
Will he get up the inside? Not close enough. Basil chops off his nose. Scotty's going to have a good run now. Will he get close enough? He's in the slipstream. We're riding on board with the Alpha Tauri as they make their way up to 10. Grim Reaper showing that Ferrari's got plenty of top-end speed when he needs it. But Scotty right there waiting in the wings for any piece of crumbs that Grim Reaper wants to leave behind.
Now keep in mind here, Mike, that Basil, Grim and Scotty are all on soft tyres and his front 2 are mediums, so they've got a huge pace advantage in these early few laps.
They need to capitalise and capitalise soon.
Basil's getting close.
Basil getting very close. Here he goes now, looking to make the move. He pulls alongside the Red Bull. Wheels touch as they go down the start-finish straight. We're going to have DRS enabled soon once more as well. Will he go around the outside? He does. What a move for second place.
Wow,
and picked up a 3-second time penalty as he does it. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame for Basil. Good for Will, who manages to just break away a fraction out front.
Yeah, this is some crazy battle here between second to... all the way down to basically 8th. These guys are all so close.
Yeah,
Will's got a bit of a gap now.
Action going on here in the French Grand Prix. What a race.
And Drown Banana, this rain is starting to fall now, so they're hoping that it's going to work in their favour. That they're still, they're 22 seconds behind. I don't think it's going to, unfortunately, pay off the gamble. They're losing more time every lap. But we'll go back to the front here.
Yeah, the gap for those two at the back just so big now, and you'd have to think those tyres will be a tad burned out to some extent as well, so not sure if they're going to be in the greatest condition either. Scotty continues to stalk Grim Reaper for 4th place. It's only a moment ago Grim Reaper was looking to make it a Ferrari 1-2, now in 4th, having to defend for his life as Scotty continues to track down the Ferrari. Tent Sandals coming into the picture, joining the party. Delicious goes up into 7th there, takes Twitch Liddy into turn 1. Ooh, and the Alpine fires back at him through turn 2. That Delicious holds the spot.
Yeah, Mike, this is giving me Russia 2021 vibes in the real F1 season. Those last few laps where Lando Norris didn't pit for the intermediate tyres and Lewis Hamilton did, and we saw that the difference that could make in the race win. I reckon we're going to have a very similar situation here.
Yes, the heartbreak that was the 2021 Russian Grand Prix. Yeah, we could be getting set up for a similar scenario here in France. Round 5 of the Pacific Open Series Tier 1 Championship really hotting up now with about 5.5 laps left to go. And Basil on tour, we've referenced his punchy attitude.
He's nearly lost.
He got well out of control. The Mercedes driver lost a few tenths there for sure. Again, lucky there's no fences skirting the edge of the circuit here at France, or he might have found himself in all sorts of trouble, but it's a moment that didn't happen. He's managed to hang on to it now. Allows Karma just to close in a little bit more. We referenced earlier his punchy attitude in the Mercedes, and he has now found that little bit of mojo that he needs and begins to close in on those soft tyres. Are those softs so past their best bit of wear, and is this rain going to get heavier? So many factors here at the moment. He's right on the back of W92 now, really close. If he can get a good run here out of turn 6 and through 7, he might have something to say about it.
DRS and the ERS. Here he goes now.
Rear wing
Is he going to
open.
look for him at the inside? He does.
The Mercedes up the inside. Will fight him back. He does. He tries to stick it there. Here comes Karma now looking for a piece of the action. Three-way battle for the lead. You can throw a blanket over him. Basil up the inside into 10. Are they going to go side by side around the long turn? Look at Karma, jinking all around the place. Will goes back to the front. They're really wide. Karma now into the action. There's 3 cars fighting it out for the lead. This is unbelievable.
And Will is struggling with the pace advantage that Basil has. He's got him now. But he's going to have DRS down the straight here. He's right on him.
Oh, what scenes. Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, AlphaTauri. There's the first 6 cars all in the same shot. Unbelievable scenes here in France.
Scotty getting involved now as well.
And he's just made a little bit enough of a gap there to stay out of attack range. Does Basil, W92 and Grim Reaper there. Wow. Thought about a move on Scotty. It's hard to know where to look at the moment. They're just all over each other like flies on you know what.
Yeah, they are. This battle pack up the front is ridiculous. From Tent Sandals to Basil is just a train with about 0.3 between every person. Here we go. Will's going for it now on the straight. He's in behind. Basil moves to the left, defensive. Not deploying the battery. Karma's coming through as well.
Oh, is he going to lose 2 positions here, Basil? No, manages to resist the Red Bull this time. Didn't have the DRS. There's going to be nothing he could do about Will's attack. goes through and leads the pack through turn 10. We've got a yellow flag back there. I think we've lost Buster, is it? Yeah, Buster's down there putting on a donut show. He drops to 13th with Banana Cake and Drow way back in 14th and 15th. Their strategies unfortunately not paying off. I liked the idea. I was glad they had a go at it. If it had bucketed down, they would have looked like absolute geniuses.
Absolutely. Now, Mike, what we're seeing here now is Basil's tyres are starting to go off. So that softened. Here comes Karma. In fact, he's going to look for a move down the straight. He goes to the right.
Basil sends him to the outside. Side by side into 1 and 2. I don't think he's going to be able to hold a little nudge there. I don't know how.
Oh, still side by side.
Down to the next chicane. He's going to try and keep it in there. I think he's going to lose out going into turn 5, though. Does. And almost wears the AlphaTauri of Scotty right in the gearbox.
And in fact, Scotty's now got to run on Basil here. They're going to have DRS. Will has taken off up front.
We're on board with Scotty looking at a move on Basil, but not close enough this time. In fact, Basil... I'm surprised Karma isn't breaking away just yet. He might just need a few more corners. Basil needs to do something about the Red Bull right now if he's going to have any chance of hanging on to second place. But yeah, as you mentioned there, Tom, Will in front, 1.7 seconds now, which on the clock isn't a lot of time, but at this stage of the race, that's an age that he'll be happy to have rather than his rivals.
Very much so. I mean, this was a strategical masterclass from Will and Karma, who both picked the mediums instead of the softs. Admittedly, I wouldn't know which one to take either, but softs look good there for a few laps, but they've really stuck it out here with the rain. I mean, we've still got 3 laps to go. I don't want to jinx the situation yet. You know, we could still see a spin or two, or someone running wide. Who knows?
Yeah, with the way they're battling, anything could happen here at the moment. Now, Basil got a poor run out of 2. That's opened the door for Scotty, who's forced to the outside for the next chicane. If he can hang side by side with the AlphaTauri, Basil, he'll get the inside line into 5. Does, but goes wide, and the Ferrari of Grim Reaper sticks his nose up there as well. 3 abreast through 5 and 6. 10 Sandals just watching.
Oh, it's a crash!
Oh, Basil, he's
Reaper.
Gone off. Wing flying everywhere. Grim Reaper facing the wrong direction as well. Oh, well, it was almost inevitable that it was going to end in tears for someone racing at such close quarters the whole
and
way.
Drow's gone as well, meanwhile. All on his own, down in Sector 3.
Oh, hopefully that's not a safety car. No, we continue racing. Green flag as we watch the crippled Mercedes of Basil crawling back to the pits. And as far as the top 3 goes, I mean, they might be safe now. Still 2.5 laps to go, but the 4th place man, Delicious, he's got his mirrors full of Tent Sandals there. He gets promoted to... He was 6th when it all began. Finds himself up in 5th now. That rain just starting to fall a little bit harder at the moment.
It's noticeably very slippery out there. I'm watching with Will and Karma, and they're just drifting through a lot of the corners, a bit sideways. In fact, if Basil's in the pits, yeah, yes, too, he's got that wing damage.
Does he take a gamble? Does he take a gamble on the... Is there much to lose?
Codstar's made a move on Grim Reaper now. Grim Reaper's gone back through. Side by side, heading into turn 1.
And Basil is taking on the Inters in the pits, so he's going to try his luck with the weather gods.
Yeah, I mean, it's heavily raining now. That track is looking pretty wet. But I think they're all going to try and survive the extra 1.5 laps.
There wasn't really much for Basil to lose, given that he had to come in and get that front wing repaired. So why not take the shot? So we watch Twitch Liddy. Yeah, we've just caught up with the Alpine, having a think about a move into 8 and 9.
Very close here between these guys. Like this is still all to play for 4th place, I'd say. Scotty's probably far enough ahead. But I think Twitch Lady will actually get these guys because they both got penalties. Unfortunately for them, yeah, they've both got a 3-second. Tent and Delicious. Someone's gone round.
I think it's Basil for sure. Just trying a tad too hard on those inters. Unfortunately, by the looks of it, that strategy's not going to pay off. As Will in the Ferrari at the front of the pack comes round the final corner to begin the final lap. Lap 27 of 27 begins now. And so much having gone on. Rain, no rain, bit of rain now at the end, all sorts happening, accidents in the middle, battles for the lead with a myriad of cars. This man has still managed to come out on top.
Oh yeah, it's been unbelievable drive from Will. I mean, he's just never shown any signs of losing in this race. He's very confident with his choice of tyre at the pit stop. And he's gained a 2.2 second lead now in front of Karma. It's just got that superior pace at the front.
So Twitch Liddy down there in 6th, just playing the waiting game by the looks of it. Well, he's a little bit off Tent Sandals, but doesn't want to get... Well, Tent Sandals, as I say that, he's going side by side almost with Delicious coming out of 9. Still battling well and truly for 4th position, but they've both got penalties. 3 seconds worth of time to be added on at the end of the race.
Tent will go for it here. Possibly run the outside, or there's a bit of collision.
Little touch, sending the Alfa Romeo well wide, and that adds another penalty to his tally. That is unfortunate.
He's going to get past him anyway. Great move around the outside, but I think Twitch Liddy is going to get them both on penalties.
Meanwhile, Will comes round. Oh, there's a puncture as Will comes down the start finish straight, takes the checkered flag, his 3rd win of the season. Karma joins him on the podium in 2nd. Fantastic race. Scotty goes over the line in 3rd, and as we expected, Twitch Liddy promoted up to 4 thanks to the penalties for Delicious in 5th and Tent Sandals. So is there a bit of damage?
There we go. Wow, what a race.
As well, unless he crashed into someone.
I think it could be that or just wear. I think those tyres might be pretty close to the 80-90% mark, so that might have just been a wear problem.
Yeah, a few drivers took it very close to the limit with the tyres at various stages through the race. But what a race indeed. Fantastic. We see Tent Sandals, he started in 17th, and Snickers Bud, remember, was last. He started 20th and last and managed to nab 8th place, so there's a good result. Twitch Liddy was 19th at the start of the race, manages to grab 4th, so massive mix-up in the results from qualifying to the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, a wonderful drive from Will to take the win. Never looked like losing from the start. Driver of the day was Twitch Liddy, and I believe that Scotty racked up the fastest lap, which is crucial in that constructors battle between Ferrari and AlphaTauri. Ferrari definitely losing out a little bit with Grim Reaper down in 7th position, I think it was.
Yeah, we're losing after that collision with Basil, which another one we may hear more about afterwards. Not sure who's to blame for that one, but I don't think it'll be the last we hear of that one.
No, not at all. I mean, I did see the incident on board, and I won't make any scandalous remarks, but I think it will definitely be seen at the stewards from what I saw. So, yeah, but what a race we had, Mike, and that was brilliant drive for everyone who finished. There was some tricky conditions to get through there.
Yeah, and ultimately through all those varying conditions and different scenarios, the cream still rose to the top with 3 of the top 4 in the championship still managing to get up there on the podium. Will extends his championship lead with another victory. Karma equals his previous best result, which was a 2nd back in round 1. Adds another one to the tally, and Scotty, ever consistent, consistent. Another third to his recent run of good results. So, wow, excellent little edition of the PlayStation Pacific Open Series Tier 1 Championship. Thanks for joining me, Tom.
No worries, Mike. Thanks for having me along. It was a pleasure, and yeah, hopefully I'll be back next weekend. If there, isn't an available spot to get behind the wheel.
Yeah, well, if you're not behind the wheel, we'll definitely get you back behind the mic, that's for sure. And for all of those of you who tuned in, wherever you tuned in from, it's been a pleasure having your company. Please join us next week for more of that action. If we can get even a race half as good as that, it'll definitely be worth tuning in for. And don't forget to join us in the comments during the stream. The more comments, the more interaction, the more fun the stream is for everyone involved. But that's all we've got time for on this edition of the Race Spec PlayStation Pacific Open Series Tier 1 Championship. Until next week, it is bye for now.